Hello everyone. Let us study about angiosperm in lesson 3rd plant kingdom of standard 11th. Angiosperm, they are flowering plants. Pollens and ovules develop inside the flowers, while in case of gymnosperm we studied that seeds are naked. So seeds are enclosed by fruit. For example, in apple, oranges, etc. the seeds are inside the fruits. Habitat, they can be found in wide range of habitat. For example, they can be found as hydrophytic, or they can be found as xerophytes, or they can be found as parasitic plants. Now its size, they can be tiny or that is microscopic. Example is wolffia, or can be tall trees like eucalyptus, can reach up to the height of 100 meters. Its importance, it can be used as a food, fodder, fuel, or as medicines. The two classes of angiosperms are dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Dicot, that is, it is having two cotyledons in their seeds. Example, beans. So two cotyledons are present. While in case of monocot, only one cotyledon is present. Example, maize. Now its reproductive part. So flower is said to be the reproductive part of the plant. Now in the flower, this stalk-like structure, it is called as peduncle. This swollen structure, it is called as thalamus, which will be having four whorls of the flower. Four whorls, or we can say four sets of appendages, that is sepals, petals, stamen and carpel. So sepals, they are green in color, and the whole whorl is called as calyx. Sepals are called the unit of calyx. So function will be for the protection of the flower in the bud condition. Then comes the petals. They are colorful in structure, and they are the whole whorl is called as corolla. Units are called as petals. Function is to attract the insect for pollination. Then the female part, which is called as carpel, and the male part, which is called as stamen. So stamen, it is the male sex organ having anther, connective and filament. Anther will be having pollen grains, while female part is called as carpel or pistil, which is female sex organ. So its parts are stigma, style and ovary. Inside the ovary, ovules will be present. It can be one or many. So ovary, inside ovary, ovule will be present. Ovule, within ovule, meiosis takes place and reduced female gametophyte will be present, which is called as embryo sac. So ovary, ovule, within the ovary, within the ovule, reduced female gametophyte is present, which is called as embryo sac, and it will be haploid because meiosis has taken place. So embryo sac now will be having egg apparatus, and in that egg apparatus one egg cell will be there and two synergid cells are there. At the other end, three antipodal cells are present, while in the center two polar nuclei are present that will fuse together, giving rise to diploid secondary nucleus. Now when the pollen grain comes and settles on the stigma, that is either through wind, insect or animals, that is called as pollination. So pollen grain settles on the stigma, germination of pollen grain takes place and pollen tube will be formed. This pollen tube, inside the pollen tube, two male gametes are present. So these two male gametes one will fuse with the egg cell and another will be fused with the polar nuclei. So this one will give rise to a zygote, while this becomes 3N. As here it is already 2N, 1 is added, so it becomes 3N. So it is called as triploid primary endosperm nucleus. After fertilization, this synergid cell will degenerate and antipodal cell will degenerate. So this is called as double fertilization because two fusion takes place, that is one forming zygote, another forming triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Now this zygote will develop into embryo and primary endosperm nucleus will develop into endosperm. The function of endosperm is to provide nourishment to the developing embryo. So ovules develops into seed and ovary into fruits in case of angiosperms. Thank you.